Welcome back to WSAV News 3 today at 11. In case you haven't heard, flu activity is surging across the state, pushing Georgia into the highest level of the very high category for reported cases. As hospitalizations and deaths continue to rise across the nation, health officials are urging vaccinations and early treatment. Chatham County Nurse Manager Sierra Peebles joins us now with more. Thank you so much for being here today. We have all the questions for you this morning, so buckle up. This flu season has had an earlier start and higher severity than normal.
Yes,
why is that?
So it could be a different, a whole lot of things really. What we are seeing is less people are being vaccinated, which is, a preventative measure before getting any viral illness, but also, the holidays, we're kind of like, oh yes, COVID's a thing of the past sometimes in our minds, so we want to get together, we want to travel, both within the U.S. and internationally, so we do see a lot of disease spread just from gathering, and of course school just started back as well. So all of that is kind of fueling this big surge that we've been seeing really early on in the season.
The H3N2 strain. Tell us more about that.
So that is what the circulating strain has been this year. It's something that we try to plan for. Obviously with the vaccine, scientists look at what illness is happening in other regions of the world that usually has a flu season before our area, so they can try to plan as best they can with that flu vaccine. So we try to do our best with getting the right strain in the vaccine. Sometimes it's spot on and that helps stay our flu numbers really down. Sometimes they kind of get off a little bit, strains mutate, things like that, but the overall message is that vaccine does help prevent severe illness, which is the big thing that we want to prevent.
And you can also get a vaccine if you have the flu, correct?
So we definitely want you to get over the illness portion. We want your immune system to be back healthy and robust, but if you've had the flu, yes, you can still get a flu vaccine afterwards that can still help prevent you from catching it again.
Yeah. So here's a question. With all of the things going on right now, how do you know if you have the flu, a cold, COVID, especially in young children?
Well, unfortunately, you don't.
Okay.
So they all are upper respiratory viral illnesses. So all of their symptoms are going to be very similar, unfortunately. You're going to have a cough, a runny nose, some congestion, sore throat. The biggest thing is you need to get tested. They can all be tested by your pediatrician or your primary care doctor, and that way they can pinpoint exactly which disease process you have so they can treat you more adequately.
Yes. And here's another question. How do you prevent getting any of these things? I mean, we know that a lot of viruses are still around. We were thinking COVID is a thing of the past. COVID is not a thing of the past. Those numbers are spiking as well.
Yes. We got to go back to the basics, cover your cough, wash your hands with good old soap and water. If you don't have that, hand sanitizer is a great second option. Make sure if you do feel ill, don't go anywhere. Stay home.
Don't go to work.
Don't come
into work, okay?
Right? And masking. A lot of people think since we're out of the pandemic era that you can throw that mask away. No, it's still a great option if you are feeling ill or if you're going into a large place like a doctor's office, an airport, things like that. You can still wear your mask to protect others and protect yourself.
Who should get the flu shot? I know you said earlier, everybody, but there are people in particular who absolutely need to get a shot.
Yes, you are correct. So the flu vaccine is indicated for anyone 6 months of age or older. We definitely want to get those little infants and kiddos because their immune systems are not as robust as some of ours. We want to get those that have a lot of comorbidities, immune system issues, autoimmune conditions, diabetes, asthma, things like that. And then our elderly population as well. As we get older, our immune system decays just like everything else. So we want to make sure they are vaccinated as well, even if they're not going out as much.
Even if they're uninsured or underinsured, and that's one thing that the health department is doing. They're providing free flu shots for people in our area.
Yes, so that was something we are very excited and proud of that we're doing this year. Anyone who does not have health insurance or their health insurance does not cover vaccines, they can get a flu vaccine at the Chatham County Health Department or any health department in our district at zero cost.
Yeah. So how do the numbers look for y'all now with people coming in with the flu?
So we're not seeing as many coming in for treatment because we don't really treat at the health department. We mainly focus on preventative, the vaccine. Those numbers skyrocketing, which is great. That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
But definitely, if you think you have the flu or any type of upper respiratory viral illness, don't come see us. Go see your primary care provider.
And one final question, because now the measles, that's in the mix. The first reported case in Georgia. How can people prevent getting the measles? We know that this is also highly contagious.
Yes, ma'am. Again, highly contagious, viral type of disease process. The best thing you can do is to be vaccinated for it. We typically vaccinate little ones at 1 year and 4 years of age, and the vaccine is safe. It's been proven effective. That is the best thing you can do to make sure that you prevent measles for your child and for yourself.
Okay, one final question, because we have about 30 seconds left. What are the symptoms of measles?
So unfortunately, it's kind of like a lot of other things.
Wow.
Cough, runny nose, watery eyes. You can have a rash, things like that, fever. So if you have any of those, no matter what's going on, just get over to your doctor.
All right, Nurse Peoples, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And if you'd like to see this interview again at any time, you can watch it on WSAV.com/Community Corner. We appreciate you so much, so much great advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right now, it's time for a look at our forecast. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning, Kim. We did start out still chilly, still freezing out there this morning, but we're actually going to turn a little bit better today. We'll begin to warm up heading into the afternoon. So here's a live look now overlooking Riverfront. With that warm up though, clouds will increase a little bit more in comparison over the past few days. So we're already seeing that warm up just a little bit as we're already in the low 50s, mainly across the region. Savannah at 52 degrees, Richmond Hill at 56 degrees, still a little bit cooler inland, the Sylvania, Statesboro at 43 degrees, but all of us are expecting to warm up to seasonable for this time of year for today. That is because there is a system approaching, and with that, the wind is going to begin to shift. We're going to be seeing it coming from the southwest today, so clouds are going to increase, but it's also going to help warm us up a bit more. So this afternoon, it's really not going to feel too bad outside. It's going to be seasonable for this time of year as we range in the upper 50s and lower 60s this afternoon, with our high reaching 64 degrees in Savannah and Hinesville, 62 degrees in Vidalia and Baxley. So definitely a nice change in comparison over yesterday and over Monday. Even we'll continue with this warm up. Thursday, upper 60s, and then by Friday, we're actually really close to 70 degrees. So tomorrow and Friday, 2 great days to spend outside. Although it's not going to be completely sunny, we'll see those clouds increase. It is going to feel a lot better and warmer, especially in those afternoons. Unfortunately, this little mini warm up does not last long. We're still tracking below average temperatures to make a return this weekend. And then this is the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. So this will look to last into next week as well. And as we do see those chilly temperatures come in this weekend, we're actually lining up to get our next system moving through, bringing in some precipitation. This all comes down to kind of the timing, because our overnight lows are going to be close to freezing. And if we do see some moisture into the overnight, it is possible that we could see a wintry mix with this, likely some freezing rain, but still a lot of questions here. How far south do we get this moisture? Does it trend a little bit up north? And at this point this morning, the trends are becoming our friends. It looks like this pulls a little bit more north, and likely we could just see some cold rain with this. So we're watching this mini warm up over the next few days, but that Arctic blast looks to make its way into the region on Saturday. It continues through most of next week, and then as we're lining up with some moisture this weekend, it is possible we could see a wintry mix, but at this point this morning, the trends are our friends once again. It looks like we could just see a scattered cold rain, but we're just going to watch that closely, and that will be for Sunday into Monday. But either way, Kim, next week is going to be a cold one, so we're going to want to enjoy today, tomorrow, and then Friday as well.
Oh my goodness. All right. It's an up and down. It's a seesaw.
It is.
We appreciate
the
heads
winter.
up. It is winter.
So.
Thank you, Hannah. Coming up next in our Community Corner, founded in the hostess city more than a century ago, the Girl Scouts of America continue shaping young lives today. We'll tell you how when we come back. Stay with us. You're watching WSAV News 3 today at 11. Yes. Welcome back to WSAV News 3 today. If you hear a rumbling, that is not thunder, that is my tummy, because the highly anticipated 2026 Girl Scout cookie season is officially underway. Kayla Williams is the troop leader. Elise Williams is her daughter, and she's also a junior Girl Scout from Troop 30053. They join us now with more. Thank you both for being here today. So first off, let's talk about the Girl Scouts, and I'll talk with you first, Kayla, because the Girl Scouts are particularly significant to historic Georgia, especially Savannah. Yeah. Talk about the origin story of this organization.
Yeah, so it's a really sweet story. It takes us all the way back over 100 years when Juliette Gordon Lowe, our founder, had a conversation with one of the founders of Boy Scouts, and she didn't want to leave the girls out. Mm-hmm. She said they need something like that. They're going to get out. They're going to further develop. We're going to build their leadership skills and their confidence. And so then Girl Scouts was founded.
And you have, since then, hundreds of thousands of Girl Scouts across the world.
Yes.
And, Elise, you are one of them. Tell us why you decided to get involved.
Well, I decided to get involved with Girl Scouts because you can make friends. It's easy to fit in. You don't have to change. And everybody just loves you. It's so fun.
How long have you been a Girl Scout?
Well, this is my first year in cookie season, and this is my second year getting registered.
Okay. So you mentioned cookie season, and that's what everybody wants to talk about during this time of year. We were talking before the show. You've already started selling cookies. How many have you sold so far?
Well, I've sold 70 cookies so far.
Yeah, 70 boxes of cookies.
70.
Yes. Okay, so Kayla, not only is this a good time for consumers because we love Girl Scout cookies, but this also teaches the young ladies a very special lesson about being entrepreneurs.
Yes. And so being an entrepreneur myself, I'm just pleased to have the opportunity to share that with the girls. We started out with our kickoff where they get the forecast. We did pitch practice where they're calling their families and friends and letting them know like how to greet someone, how to engage them in your product, but then also how to plan out what you want to actually do with the fund because, begin with the end in mind. And so they're even setting goals for trips across the world based on how they do for this cookie season. So it's been a really fun time because they talk and they have really big dreams, really big goals. And us leaders and volunteers, it's myself and then I have a team of volunteers. We're just there to support whatever they kind of show as interest and further develop them.
Elise, what's your goal?
My goal is 450 cookies.
Stop it. It's 450 boxes of cookies? Okay, I'm sure you will reach that goal. So Girl Scout cookie season is recognized nationally from January through April, locally January through March.
Correct.
For us. I wanted to mention something that's very important because the Girl Scout Cookie Program provides the largest girl-led entrepreneur program in the world. Yeah. That is fantastic. So, a couple of new things. You're debuting a new cookie. Tell us about that.
Okay, so Explore More's is a Rocky Road ice cream inspired cookie. And it's a chocolate. I've tasted it. It's so good.
Oh my goodness.
It's a chocolate. I don't know, peanut butter. Yeah, a chocolate peanut butter.
Chocolate.
Yeah, just chocolate.
Okay.
A chocolate. It's just so good. It's kind of like an Oreo.
Okay.
But way better.
Yeah. Rocky Road is my favorite ice cream, so I know that I will love that cookie. Kayla, tell us about your sponsor because you have a big sponsor this year. Your national sponsor. Is it the Adobe? You're not sure about that?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
We can get the information back to you.
No problem. So, you recently talked about a rally that you had where you trained the girls. How many girls are you working with?
So, in our troop, there are 10 girls. Mm-hmm. And they've attended the Historic Georgia has rallies all across. So, we're District 3. And then we went to that rally. And they went through pitches, media preparedness, as well as learning all about the cookies, as well as managing the cash register. So there's some math going on, obviously, for change and being able to calculate based on how many boxes. So if someone wants 5 boxes, they'll know the total and calculate the change. Then they also did the other part, which is just fun. There's a dance party, right? Because though they're selling, they're practicing those skills, we want them to always have fun in each moment of it. So that was a fun time for that.
So we're running out of time. How do we get our hands on those cookies?
We have a link. So there's a link, and you scan the link, and you can order as many cookies as you want. We also have a paper form, and we're right there.
And the third is what?
And
Boots.
the third,
Boots.
boots.
Cookie boots.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and then we're gonna be setting up our cookie booths. We're gonna be at Panera
Kroger.
on the 3rd, Kroger,
Everywhere.
my dad's barbershop.
Okay, they'll be everywhere around town. Elise, Kayla, thank you so much for joining us today. Give a shout out to who's in the studio with you now, behind the scenes?
My sister and my dad.
Your sister and your dad. Okay, you can find more information and see this interview again anytime on our website by visiting wsav.com/community corner. We appreciate you so much, and I need to taste those Explore More cookies. Stay with us. You're watching WSAV News 3 today at 11. We'll be right back.